What is up? This is your LA in a minute. And do you remember Winchell's Donut House? It was the largest donut shop west of the Mississippi. And then all of a sudden, there weren't that many around. From its humble beginnings in 1948 in Temple City, where Vern Winchell founded the House of the Warm and Fresh Donut, to today, where there are a few around if you look hard enough. Let's go into the history of Winchell's Donuts. By 1948, Vern Winchell was a 33-year-old entrepreneur that had already opened Winchell's Music, which sold jukeboxes, and Winchell's Used Motor Cars. Neither of those had too much success, so he planned to open a hamburger stand. But when an identical operation opened across the street from his Temple City location, he pivoted and decided to open a donut and coffee shop instead. A cup of coffee cost a dime and a donut cost a nickel, and people could watch the donuts being made through the shop's windows. The concept was a hit, so by 1949, he opened 2 more locations in Huntington Park and Southgate. Though not immediately successful in the new locations, Vern rolled out Winchell's Dozen, 14 donuts, which set the stores on the right path. More importantly, he opened up a new type of donut shop in Redondo Beach, one featuring a coffee room with seats and tables. This was the match that lit the Winchell's flame. By 1961, Winchell's was franchising and opening 30 to 40 stores a year, including out-of-state locations in Arizona and Colorado. By 1968, Vern Winchell had opened a total of 255 outlets, and some big news was on the horizon. This is Vern, by the way. 68 was the year that they merged with Denny's. That's right, Denny's. And Vern Winchell, though initially just the CEO for Winchell's, eventually took the CEO position for Denny's as well. During the 1970s, under Vern's leadership, Winchell's donut houses grew dramatically. There were more than 1,000 locations, including Japan, Spain, Holland, Korea, and the Philippines. Revenue was around $200 million per year. 1980 was the first sign of trouble for the company, as many of the stores were unprofitable and they shut down 20% of the locations. That same year, Vern Winchell left Winchell's. The fortunes continued to deteriorate in the 1980s. By 1985, they had shrunk to 700 locations as they were losing market share to companies like Dunkin' Donuts. By 1988, the company was reporting annual losses and they'd shrunk to 600 locations, and many of the old Winchells turned into places like this. In 1989, Denny's sold Winchell's to a private firm, which in turn sold 250 locations to Pizza Hut. That's right, Pizza Hut. In dire straits by this time, Winchell started to roll out breakfast sandwiches and frozen yogurt by Dannon. 1987, they rolled out Winchell's Express and started placing locations inside of Subway and 7-Eleven. Winchell's big problems were the influx of competitors like Starbucks and direct competitors like Krispy Kreme. Taking a cue from their competitor, they opened up Warm and Fresh, guaranteeing fresh donuts between 6 and 9 a.m. every day. By 2004, the remaining 178 Winchells were sold to Yum Yum Donuts. There are now 73 locations left, mostly in LA. All right, LA, it's been a minute.